At the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Shun who was completely bored with his life. The reason was that he lived a very simple and repetitive life. He would go to school, come back home, and that was it. There was nothing exciting or enjoyable in his life, and he had become quite upset with this boring routine. After school, Shun used to play games alone to entertain himself, but even that started to bore him after a while. Frustrated, he prayed to God, saying, "God, my life is so boring. I wish life were as fun and exciting as a game, something that could make me feel alive like those games do." From that moment on, things began to change. The next day, while Shun was in class, something shocking happened. His teacher's head suddenly exploded. Out of the teacher's body came a strange Daruma doll, which looked terrifying and dangerous. That doll began to kill all the students in the classroom one by one in a brutal way. Whoever moved even slightly from their place would have their head exploded instantly by the Daruma doll. Seeing this, Shun realized that his wish had somehow come true, but not in the way he wanted. He never wished for a game that would kill people. Watching his classmates die horrifically made him deeply upset.
The students soon figured out that the Daruma doll would sing a song, and when the song ended, it would look around. Anyone who moved during that time would be killed. The entire classroom was covered in blood. The students panicked and screamed in fear, while the Daruma doll continued its killing spree mercilessly. Then, Shum's friend said, "This is a death game. We have to win it somehow. Don't panic." He pointed out a button on the back of the Daruma doll, saying that pressing it might be the way to stop it. Hearing this, one student tried to go press the button, but the Daruma doll glared at him, and his head immediately exploded. Shun then noticed the timer behind the Daruma doll. He shouted to everyone, "There's only 1 minute left. If we don't press that button before time runs out, everyone in this class will die." Hearing this, more students panicked and rushed toward the doll, but as they moved, the Daruma doll brutally killed each one of them. Soon, only Shun and his friend were left alive because they hadn't moved. Shun's friend said, "There are only 30 seconds left. Step on my back and press the button. We might both survive." Shun hesitated, too afraid to do it. But as the time ticked away, he gathered his courage, jumped, and pressed the button on the back of the Daruma doll. The doll fell, and Shun and his friend felt relieved, thinking they had won the game. But suddenly, the Daruma doll killed Shun's friend too. The doll then said to Shun, "You were the one who pressed the button. That's why I will kill everyone except you."
Shun wasn't happy at all. Even though he survived, all his classmates had died for no reason. Just then, he met his friend Ichika, who had also survived a similar game in her classroom by pressing the button on her doll. Shun asked her, "What's happening? Let's call the police." But there was no network signal on his phone. They decided to run away from school, but every door was locked. Somehow, they reached another area of the school, where they found other students wearing mouse costumes. On the floor, it was written, "Feed the cat's bell." Suddenly, a giant robotic cat appeared from under the ground. The cat began eating students one by one, and everyone panicked and tried to run. Shun noticed a bell nearby and saw that the cat had a basket around its neck. He realized that maybe they could throw the bell into the basket to win the game. One student tried to throw the bell, but the cat blocked it and smashed him to death. Everyone was terrified, thinking it was impossible to win. At one point, Ichika fell and the cat was about to eat her, but Shun, wearing a mouse costume, ran to distract the cat. The cat seemed more interested in chasing the mouse costume students. Shun then noticed something strange. The cat could talk to the students wearing mouse costumes. The cat said its back was itching, so the students started scratching its back and it began to purr happily. Soon, the cat fell asleep. Shun whispered, "This is our chance. I'll throw the bell into the basket and finish this game." But the others were scared. They thought, like the Daruma game, maybe only the one who scores the basket would survive, and everyone else would die. This caused a fight among them, and during the chaos, the cat woke up and attacked again. Shun and Ichika threw 2 balls toward the cat, one real bell and one fake ball to confuse it. Their plan almost worked, but Shun missed the basket by a little. Only 2 seconds were left when suddenly a strong boy named Amaya appeared. Without caring for his own life, he threw the bell into the basket, completing the game. Ichika was overjoyed, but Shun said, "We still don't know who the real survivor is." The cat replied, "You 3, Shun, Ichika, and Amaya, have won. Everyone else is dead." Amaya then told Shun, "These are games made by God. Only the strongest and most capable survive. Power exists within you and me."
Ichika interrupted, saying Shun isn't like you. He's smarter, stronger, and a better person. Hearing this made Amaya angry. Then the cat released a sleeping gas, knocking all three unconscious. After this, we see the outside world, where chaos has spread everywhere. The whole country is in a state of panic because of these strange games. The winners were being taken away in flying cubes to an unknown place. People tried to reach the cubes, but no one could get inside. In another scene, we see a homeless man fixing a broken radio. As soon as he touched it, the radio started working again. This hinted that he might be connected to these games somehow. When Shun woke up, he saw a girl named Takumi in front of him. She was his childhood friend. Apart from them, there were also survivors from other schools. Among them was a very intelligent boy.
Then, a message appeared on a screen. Find the key. It said they could only escape after finding it. Soon, 4 wooden dolls appeared and explained the rules. They said, "You will all sit blindfolded. We will walk around you while singing a song. When the song ends, you must name the doll standing behind you. If you answer incorrectly, you will die instantly." The smart boy went first, but gave the wrong answer, and the dolls killed him brutally. Then a girl tried, but she also failed and died. Now only Shun and Takumi were left. When it was Shun's turn, the dolls surrounded him, singing as they walked. When the song ended, they asked for the name of the doll behind him, but Shun stayed silent, frozen with fear. Time ran out, and the dolls said, "Your time is up. Get ready to die." But then, Shun suddenly said the doll's name aloud. The dolls laughed and said, "It's useless now. Time's already up." It turns out that before the last 2 players had their turns, Shun had secretly recorded the dolls' voices during the earlier rounds. Now, he cleverly used those recordings to trick the dolls. He told them that there was still time left, and then correctly said the name of the doll behind him. As soon as he won, all 4 dolls exploded one by one, and Shun and Takumi took the key and escaped from the room. Outside, they met another boy running toward them. He was being chased by a huge, terrifying doll. The boy shouted, "Everyone, hold hands. If we do that, the doll won't be able to hurt us." Just then, Ichika also arrived, and together they ran into another room. Inside, they found 2 more boys who told Shun that in order to open the gate, they needed 7 keys, but they only had 4. At that moment, Amaya appeared bringing 3 more keys with him.
Amaya said he had escaped from another doll and even saved another boy along the way. But as soon as they entered, Amaya killed that boy mercilessly. When they inserted all 7 keys, a voice came from inside saying, "Now everyone change into your new outfits." As soon as they changed clothes, they were transported into the next game. Meanwhile, the story cut to the outside world, where the situation in the city had become chaotic. It was then revealed that everything happening inside the cube was being broadcast live. The entire city was watching the deadly God's game unfold in real time. Inside the cube, the 7 remaining survivors entered a place covered entirely in ice. Suddenly, a huge polar bear appeared in front of them. The bear told them that to win this game, they would have to answer its questions, and anyone who answered incorrectly would instantly die. The bear asked the first question, "What is your favorite food?" Everyone gave their answers, but the bear said, "One of you is lying." After some thinking, they realized which boy was lying, but he refused to admit it, insisting he had told the truth. The bear then killed him brutally on the spot. Then came the second question. Who among you likes Shun? Ichika, Amaya, and Takumi said yes, because they knew him. The 2 boys from other schools said no, since they didn't know Shun personally. The bear again said, "One of you is lying." Shun asked, "These questions are so simple. How can anyone answer them wrong?" The bear replied, "Because one of you is our partner, sent here to deceive the rest of you. Find that person before I kill you all." After thinking hard, everyone began to suspect Takumi because she wasn't from Shun's school. Shun tried to defend her, saying, "She's my childhood friend," but nobody believed him. Time was running out, so they decided to choose Takumi as the liar. Takumi started crying and begged Shun, saying, "I didn't lie. I really like you." But no one listened. The bear then killed her in a horrifying way. Then something shocking happened. Real blood came out of Takumi's body. If she had been the bear's ally, she would have been a robot, not a human. Realizing this, Shun immediately understood the truth. He pointed at the bear and shouted, "You're the liar! You've been deceiving us from the start! You wanted us to kill each other, but you're the real fake one." As soon as Shun said that, the white bear turned black, meaning Shun had won the game. But Shun wasn't happy. 2 innocent people had died, including his dear friend Takumi. He was filled with guilt and sadness. Now, the 5 remaining survivors moved on to the final game. Tiny dolls appeared and clapped their hands, saying, "Congratulations! You've finally made it this far." They explained that this last game would not involve any new players. It would be a game among the 5 of them. The dolls explained the rules. Among the 5, 1 person would be chosen as the demon, and the other 4 would have to hide. If the demon found all 4 and kicked the can, the demon would win and only he would survive. Everyone else would die. But if one of the 4 non-demons managed to kick the can before the demon, then everyone except the kicker would live, and the one who kicked the can would sacrifice their life.
In other words, one person would have to risk their life for the sake of the others. Using sticks, the demon was chosen, and it turned out to be Amaya. The dolls started the game. Amaya placed the can in position and went out to find the others. The 4 of them hid in different places. Amaya soon found 2 of them easily, beat them up brutally, and locked them in a cell. Meanwhile, Ichika and Shun were hiding together, but Amaya found their location as well. Ichika tried to protect Shun, stepping out in front of Amaya, but he captured her too. Then Amaya said to Shun, "I don't even need to find you anymore. I've already caught 3 people. It's better if you stay hidden instead of coming out." Shun was torn. Should he kick the can and sacrifice himself to save everyone else? Or should he stay hidden and let the others die? Ichika screamed from her cell, "Shun, I know you're a good person. Don't worry about us. Please don't come out." But Shun didn't listen. He put on a heavy armor suit and stepped out. Amaya laughed, saying, "Do you really think you can beat me in that armor? All I have to do is remove your helmet, say your name, and I'll win. You'll lose." Amaya quickly managed to remove Shun's helmet, but Shun said, "I didn't wear this armor to fight you. I wore it to stop you." Then, without hesitation, he jumped into the water, dragging Amaya with him since they were chained together.
Everyone expected Shun to die because that was the rule, but surprisingly, the can didn't explode. The dolls appeared and said, "We lied about the explosion. We only wanted to test whose heart was pure, who would act selflessly for others." They announced that everyone had won. The city outside erupted in celebration. The dolls gave the players ice cream as a reward, saying, "Now you can return to your normal lives. Everything that happened was just a game." Everyone was happy and relieved. But as they were eating the ice cream, they noticed something written on the sticks. It revealed who the true winners were. It said that only Shun and Amaya were the real winners of the final game, titled Game of Luck. The other 3, including Ichika, had died. Amaya was thrilled to have won, but Shun was not. When they were brought out of the cube, the people outside called them heroes, the only 2 survivors among so many students. But Shun was angry and heartbroken. He shouted, "God doesn't exist. If he did, he wouldn't have taken everything from me, my friends, my classmates, my school." The dolls replied, "You're wrong, Shun. God does exist." Then came the final revelation. The homeless man who had earlier fixed the broken radio was actually the mastermind behind all the games. He was the one who had created and conducted every deadly God's game. Shun glared at him with fury as the horrifying truth sank in, and with that shocking twist, the story ends.